I am thrilled to be able to share the overview of the Faster Way to Fat Loss program with you. I hope that you have been able to kind of look at the portal that was emailed out to you. If not, no big deal. If you have, maybe me explaining it'll make more sense if you've kind of read over some of the strategies that we use, and then I'm going to talk about them a little bit more in depth today, and then maybe referring back to the portal will make more sense to you. So I'm going to talk about it, the whole program today. I do want to start by saying that you do not have to get or understand everything that I'm saying today. It does take time. It is a lot of new things that people aren't used to doing. And so it's going to take time. Give yourself some grace in this because it is going to take a little while to do. So maybe some of the things to start doing, to think about as I go through this and talk about what we're going to be focusing on, is maybe start small in the beginning. And so maybe start working on getting your water intake up every day. I think I mentioned in a different video, I try and drink about about half my body weight in water every day in ounces. And so maybe start working towards drinking more water if you don't drink a lot of water. Maybe start getting all the processed foods out of the house. And just start slowly getting rid of all the things that aren't going to be so great for the program. And then maybe during prep week and the first week, start inching towards intermittent fasting a little bit more every single day. We do a 16-8 protocol, so maybe wait an hour every day until you can get to where we need to be for the program. So don't stress. This week, like I said, is all about practice, progress, not perfection. We're going to get it. You're going to do great. I do want to set some expectations today. The first one is that nobody's allowed to give up. I don't care even if you go in and your mindset is, oh, like maybe I can do it, maybe I won't. Nope, you're going to do it. And I'm going to help you do it. And you're going to be so proud that you did and that you signed up and that you finished. So we're going to make it through. We're going to trust the process, and we are going to focus, like I said, on progress, not perfection. And if you see Amanda, I'm going to be posting in our Facebook group every day. And so I'm going to be giving tips, ideas, advice, suggestions, a little motivation. If you do see a video and it's somebody else, it's not me. It is probably Amanda Tress. She is the creator of the Faster Way to Fat Loss. And so some of the things she just explains really well. And I am a certified coach, but she created the program. And so I just kind of put some videos in there where she really explains things really well and the whys behind it. So I want to get started by talking about fasting. So we do intermittent fast every single day, even on our low carb days. So there's lots of ways to fast. We do a 16-8 protocol, which means we fast for 16 hours a day, and then we eat for 8 hours a day. So we're going to eat a lot of food in an 8-hour window. And so later on in the program, we are going to have a couple 24-hour fasts, but we are not even going to think about those because we are not there yet. So like I said, for prep week, let's just start working towards getting to the 16-8 protocol. So every day, just kind of back it up by an hour. Some things that are going to help with fasting is drinking a lot of water. So in the mornings, you can have herbal tea. You can have black coffee. I drink a lot of water. I try and get most of my water intake in the mornings while I'm fasting. You can have some creamers if it is less than 50 calories. So whatever creamer you have, it can't have any sweetener in it unless it's stevia. And nut pods are a good alternative if you have to have some creamer in your coffee. But maybe during the prep week, you work towards getting that black coffee, getting it to where you're drinking your coffee black. Just kind of weaning yourself off of the sweetener. So that is a little bit about intermittent fasting. We're going to get there. We're going to give you some tricks on that too. Not really tricks, but just like advice on how to get there and make it a little bit easier. Our first day that we are going to have, so I'm going to talk about our food cycle a little bit now. So we have a low carb day, which is going to be typically on Monday and Tuesday. And so if you're changing up on the portal, you will see our food schedule. And so there's going to be low carb days, regular macro days, and low macro days. And so look on there and you'll see which day is which. And so on our low carb days, there's going to be 2 of them, and they're going to be back to back. So sometimes people are going to need to adjust when those days are. So for most of the people on the program, it's going to be Monday, Tuesday. And so if you have to switch it up for whatever reason, just make sure they're paired together. So our low carb days, we are going to be eating mostly healthy or fit fats. And so our carbs, we're going to be eating less than 50 grams of net carbs. And so how do we calculate our net carbs? We are going to take our carbs and we're going to subtract our fiber from that. And that is going to give us our net carbs. So I'll say that again. So we're going to have our carbs. We're going to subtract the fiber out of it, and then that's going to give us our total grams of net carbs. So we're going to be eating less than 50 net grams carbs a day. So we're going to be fueling our body with mostly fats on that day. I want you to hear me when I say this. Fats will not make you fat. We're going to be eating good fats. We're going to be eating avocados. We're going to be eating avocado oil, olive oil, nuts. This is going to be the day where we're going to eat our red meats. Maybe you're going to have a steak on this day. We are not going to have quinoa or rice or potatoes, starchy vegetables. We're going to be staying away from those, away from most fruits. Low carb days, I love fruit. On low carb days, I usually eat berries. And so I get raspberries or blackberries and eat that with my lunch usually. And so these days, with our workouts, they're going to be paired with our cardio days. And so it's going to be our HIIT workouts and our sprints. And so these are strategically paired with the day. So all the workouts that we do go with the food cycle, with the days we eat, what we eat, why we eat it. And so it's going to be important that we're going to do the workouts with these days. And I want to say that don't compare yourself to anybody in the group. So my sprint may be different than somebody else's sprint, and your sprint may be a fast walk. And that is totally fine. And we're going to work up and we're going to get a little bit quicker, a little bit better. Again, progress, not perfection. So just do the best that you can, and we're going to get it. So a regular macro day. So this is when we get to replenish our body with our carbs. And so back to the low carb days for a second, what we're doing on these days is we're depleting our glycogen stores in our body. And so then our body has to reach into our fat for energy. And so it's going to burn our fat for fuel to keep us going. And so then we come on Wednesday and Thursday, we come into our regular macro days. So on Wednesday and Thursday and on Saturday, those are going to be our regular macro days. Again, you can find all this in the portal, but this is where we're going to get to eat all the carbs again. We're going to replenish our body with those good, healthy carbs. And so what you want to do is on these days, you can eat your fruits, oatmeal, potatoes, get your carbs back in there. I love oatmeal. I eat oatmeal probably on every regular macro day. I do overnight oats and I love it. So we'll be eating that. You can eat your rice, your quinoa on these days. So we want to lift as heavy as we can on these days. So we're going to have a total body workout on Wednesday. We're going to work out our back on Thursday, and then leg day is on Saturday. And this is the day that we get to work in a treat into our schedule. So it's not a treat day. It's a treat period. So you get to work in a treat into your day, because our legs are our biggest muscle group in our body. And so we're going to work those out, and then we're going to get to have our treat and enjoy it. So I love Saturdays. This is, again, when I talk about the workouts, do the best that you can. If you're coming in here and you haven't been working out, that's okay. If you need to take a set off and do a couple of the sets and not finish the sets, that's okay too. You're gonna know better than anybody, and so really listen to your body and do what works best for you on these days. So that is going to be our regular macro days. So then our low macro days are going to be on the only 2 days that are left, Friday and Sunday. And so these are going to be paired with our rest days. And so our low macro days, we are going to be eating just a little bit less. We're going to be eating 25% less than we do on regular macro days. So sounds confusing. It's not. All we're going to do is we're going to take our regular macro number. So whatever that number is in grams, we're going to multiply it by 0.25, and then take that number that it gives you, and we're going to subtract it from our regular macros. And that's going to be 25% less than what we eat on a regular macro day. And like I said, we're going to rest on these days, and it's going to be really important that we do rest. If you want to do yoga on these days, if you want to go on a long walk on these days, maybe a light run or jog, that's totally fine. But it is going to be important that we're not working out super hard, because we're not going to be fueling our bodies to do that. So we have those rest days built in. So that's going to be our low macro days. So like I said, keep referring to the portal. It's going to be important that you go there. There's so much info. If you do have questions, please put those in the questions or in the feed on our Facebook page. And that is because somebody else probably has that same question or didn't even think to ask the question, but wants to know the answer as well. And so I will be in Facebook in that group. I will try and be there 3 times a day. So first thing in the morning, mid-afternoon sometime, and then in the evening, probably around dinner time. And so that's when I'll be checking in with everybody, answering questions, cheering you on. So that is a little bit about the food cycle. It kind of sounds like a lot, but don't be overwhelmed. It's the same every single week. So it never changes. Prep week, it may take you a little while to get. Maybe the first actual week of the program, we're going to be a little bit more used to it. And so don't be overwhelmed. It is the same every week. It doesn't change in that way. I talked about the workouts. So we do lift heavy. We do want to try and develop that lean calorie burning muscle. And so we're going to inch it on every single week until we feel stronger, and then we're going to lift heavier. So if you get done with a workout and you feel like you could do 3 more sets, we probably should have lifted a little bit heavier. So just pay attention to that, and make sure that we are lifting and upping the weights if we need to. Do not weigh yourself during this program. So when we set up our MyFitnessPal, that is going to be the only time that we weigh ourselves. So go ahead, jump on the scale then, and then hide it. Give it to your husband to hide, give it to your friend to hide, give it to whoever. But we're not going to weigh ourselves anymore, because we're making progress that may not be seen on the scale. I know people who've gone through the program and they've lost 2-3 pounds, but they've lost 10-11 inches. And so the scale isn't always so telling of the victories that we have from the program. I can't even tell you what I weigh. I haven't been on a scale in a while. And so just get rid of it. I talked about the Facebook groups. One thing I want to say is don't compare yourself to anybody else, just to kind of continue with some expectations. Don't compare yourself to anybody. We're all different. We're all on our own journey. Everybody is going to be different in this. Stay positive. Stay, rooting for yourself, because there's going to be times where you're going to do something wrong and you're going to get off track. That's okay. We're going to forget about it and we're going to move it on. Even the same day, maybe it's the next day. We're going to forget that happened. We're going to get back on track, and we're going to stick to the program, and trust the process. So if you're a couple of days or weeks in and you're questioning it, or you're not feeling that it's working, trust the process. If you're doing the intermittent fasting, if you're following the whole food nutrition, if you are following the food cycles, it will work. So trust the process. I definitely had to do that. Going talking a little bit about prep week, just to set an expectation. You might on the first couple low carb days, so the first Monday, Tuesday, that you actually go all out and do the low carb, you may feel symptoms of a detox. And so I know when I started, I had some headaches. That's okay. That's going to be expected. That's our body getting the sugar out of our bodies. Our bodies are transferring from being a sugar burner to fat burners. And so you may have some symptoms like headaches. Drink lots of water. I got a little bit extra rest. I went to bed a little bit earlier during the first couple of days just to help. Rest can only help, I think. So I did just want to mention that to you. So talking a little bit about foods, we don't give a food outline. So we're not going to sit here and tell you what to eat, and that's to benefit everybody. Everybody's family is different. Everybody likes to eat different things. So if I sit here and say, hey, eat chicken on this day, eat chicken again on this day, eat turkey on this day, you're not going to like it and you're going to get burnout. And so I know that that's one of the biggest things is that people want to know what to eat. And so I am going to give food ideas. If you follow me on social media, I'm going to be posting what I'm eating and what helps, what I like to eat. But again, do whatever is going to work for you. But there are some food suggestions also, again, in the portal. And so whatever's going to work for y'all, and I think you'll figure it out. I eat a lot of nuts on low carb days. I eat chicken on those days. Chicken's really good for any day. You'll figure it out. I eat fish on low carb days as well. And like I said, I'll be sharing my meals and snacks throughout the program. One thing that I usually do is I'll break my fast. Everybody's gonna be different. So I talked about earlier, so like 12 to 8 is a lot of people's. I usually break my fast like it could be from 11:30 to 12, and then so that's gonna take me to 7:30 or 8. So it really just depends on how I'm feeling that day. So what I usually do is I break my fast with a meal, and then I'll eat a snack, and then I'll eat dinner. And so I try to only eat like 3 times a day, 4 times a day, but some days you're hungry and you're gonna want another snack. Just fit it in, and that's totally fine. In the beginning, this is the last thing I want to talk about. In the beginning, we did talk about the 24-hour fast. And so again, I don't want to talk a whole lot about it because I don't want to scare you. We are going to get there. 24-hour fast will make you feel so good. You will feel so accomplished that you did it. But you will be able to do a 24-hour water fast or a juice cleanse. And so the water fast is really going to accelerate the fat burning that we have going on in our bodies. And then the juice cleanse is really just going to flush everything out and replenish your body with micronutrients. And so you have the option to do either one of those. But again, those aren't for a while, but I did just want to mention it because it is part of the program. So I hope that this makes a little more sense to you. Reach out with any questions. Again, if you have questions, put them on the Facebook page, and then I'll answer them there. So I'm going to be posting in the group daily. So every single morning, I'm going to be making a post. Comment on that and ask your questions from that post. And you can friend the people in the group if you want for support. Go ahead and introduce yourself in the group. Tell a little bit about yourself. And we're here to support and encourage each other. I just want to say thank you for letting me be a part of this journey with you. I am very passionate about the fast rate of fat loss. I believe in it wholeheartedly, and it is gonna help you. I promise. Trust the process and focus on progress, not perfection. I cannot wait to get started, and I hope everybody has an awesome day.